And this situation of the impermanent, it is really obviously, clearly, this kind of happened for everybody, and included ourselves. And then this is the kind of the relative truth, and then it's like more to analyze the relative truth. I'm just to saying told to this lady girl to say maybe yesterday Deshan Drunkashi is very kindly provide something cosmologies and different levels. Maybe it's okay if some people want to more to get the information and study Abhidhamma, how it is a Buddha he transcribed about the cosmologies, how many like the three-folder of the word. And this is good, nice, it's a wonderful thing. It's not really, it's like it depends. When we follow the Dharma, there's two types of the Dharma, okay, followers, two kind of. One is we call the follower way of the Pantitas, learned. Then they study the old, it's like kind of geographic and also like a kind of the maths and also like physics. And there's so many, particularly in the philosophies, different view, different like kind of, there's so many things to clarifying. And knowledge is extreme you can to study. And also sometimes when you have a lot of doubts and you can to study, it maybe help. But someone is a very much stable person, very much devoted to do something good, not too much to study things, more we call the kusali way, more simple way. And in this way, it's like very important to study. For example, now we are studying this word of my perfect teacher. It's called the preparation part, preliminary part, foundation. It's of all the really main Dharma practice things. And this this preliminary practice, there's the 6 chapters. These 6 chapters really very, very, very important. This whole 6 chapter is telling about us. It is the relative truth. And for example, it's the human existence. We need to analyze. I'm often to say it's like we never appreciate our human existence. And we need to recognize our own this achievement. Yesterday, I repeat again. We need to freedoms. Particularly, there is like a freedom. That means is the freedom in order to practice Dharma. If we cannot to practice Dharma, maybe there's a different cause, different conditions, different hindrance, obstacles, tangible, intangible. And in this perspective, maybe everybody has freedoms now. And that is like this kind of obtained freedom situations. This is wonderful. If we have this knowledge, it is a really relative truth knowledge, and it's wonderful. And now I understand my situations. Make the joke, there's America, there's one film, there's one couple, and they are like kind of be together many years. And then it's like after the 5 or 6 years, the relationship is horrible, like a hell. Every day argue, fighting, and like this. Until the 20 years. After the 20 years, and the husband says, now I realized what she needed. And wife says, oh, now I understood what he needed. Before we are not kind of discovered or the figure out what they needed each other, then it's like too much concern in the self, and then we have a problem. Now we understand each other, then it's become more calm, good, and love each other. Like exactly like this. We do not understand, then it's like not very much appreciate, we don't know in the relative these realities. And therefore when we study, it's really to studies. I don't know when you have this kind of feeling, but I have when I was a child. Until I'm become maybe 13, 14 years, when I heard someone's died, something like this, until there's, I'm thinking it's never we are die. Humans is like forever existence. All the time thinking it's a permanent, never. And then it's like I was at maybe 13, 14, someone's died, relatives. What do you mean? Where maybe all the time I'm thinking, this person's went to something different place. And often I'm asked to Mom, this person when is come back? Don't say like this, dead. What do you mean dead or impermanent? It's difficult to accept. And then slowly one day, one is like see more, yes, now I understand. Everybody is impermanent. Myself? Yes, that is no doubt. And then is a start kind of the scaring, start is like kind of a little bit unhappy to think about that. But then it's like, anyway, you are happy, we are happy. Says, I'm happy or not happy for the impermanent. This is relative truth. I need to go to there. Doesn't matter today or tomorrow or next month or next year. One day there's 100% in Nepal, in India, they say it's like 100, persons. One day there's no doubt. And this perspective, what I need to do, like yesterday I said this, my mom and dad is dying in the front of me, how I can to share. Probably maybe you have this experience when your mommy dad died, how you can to share this such. And maybe they have collapsed. They don't want to lose in these appearances. They want to keep continued, but no choice. There's exhaustion of the life, and the impermanent is departure arrive. No choice. And it's like when I go to in the airport, it's like often this is make me a little bit reminded the impermanent. When I like buy the ticket, go to in the gate, and to say the bye-byes, passport controls, you cannot go back. You need to go. And there is like something, maybe your family, students, maybe says they cry, maybe it's I don't want to go, I'll go back to impossible. When I go to in Tibet, my two brothers, they love me very much. My particularly young brother, like I'm often sometimes angry with him, shouting, but incredible. When I go to the airport and he said bye-bye, but it's tears coming. And then it's like kicked inside, maybe I will go back to state, impossible, I need to think it forward. It's a death, it's like this. It's kind of some in the moment, it's arrive impermanent. That moment, whatever you have dear, whatever you have belonging, whatever you have the beautiful things, we need to leave behind, we need to go through this. And that moment, it's for example, if sometimes it's we don't study about the impermanent, there's something. For example, some parents, when there are something certainly to problems, they need to go under the like impermanent. They have very strong attachment to children or left things. This attachment is a spirit, it is influence. Sometimes very much damaged left families. Also influence many problems. If you have attached, like disattached, is this person's difficult mind to go away, and then this influence, energies is left like this. For example, Dharma practitioners, that moment they are cutting really the attachment. Now I need to go. Doesn't matter whatever I have belonging, whatever I have beautiful families. It's the time I need to say the goodbye. We will see next time or not. Just to cut in the desire, touch, clinging things. And then it's like also our own path is wonderful, and also whoever lived like this. For example, in the Dharma teachings, it's really to someone to learn impermanent, and someone's really have the realization of the impermanence. When they are alive, then big in their families, these persons all the time is kindness, never angry, never think all the times to practice patient, diligent, and also concentrate meditation. Concentrate means to concern whoever connected to you. And even your domestic animal, domestic your families, and whoever connect, try to do. And certainly impermanent is you lose maybe some dear father, mother. They never cries. It is nature, is this. For example, in the Pardo instructions, if someone died after you cry, and this tear is become the like kind of the, lava bowl, this like a kind of hot raining for this dead persons. And of course, you don't need to make a party or something, but it's to be normal to dedicate the virtues of such and benefit them. After this person is departed, someone's crying, blah, 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 it's just useless. Practitioners, to understand, they're more profoundly doing the virtue things dedicated to this person. For example, maybe ourselves, maybe some families may be still there on the previous lives, maybe children's something. But maybe what they do for us, maybe they do some accumulations, generosities, discipline, and it's like doing some virtue, generate bodhicitta. They dedicate to us. Also, it's a very much benefit for us. And same as like our connection families to do something virtuous, that is the benefit. To cry and to suffering, it's just useless. Like this is it, when you are studied this impermanence, such is a benefit. And also, therefore, we need to a little to study. It's a wonderful. It is a truth or not truth. You need to analyze. And also, it's like here it says like everything is changes. You might be as the exalted as the heavens, and might as you are thunderbolt, as rich as your Nanga, as God, the good looking, as a good or as a pretty as the Rinpoche. You looks like kind of this kind of that you have. Maybe you are really, really exalted. It's like heaven. Maybe it's everybody's pray to you. Maybe you become the president. The like kind of the owner of this world, controller of this world. Maybe even like this kind of the high positions, if certainly arrive the impermanent, which kind of to do this kind of positions? Nothing. And also it's like there are such a kind of the powerful thunderbolts. There is one person, and he asked to me, and he has like kind of the diabetic, and then he got cancer, and he's weak, and he says, he's a very, very strong. Sometimes like he says 100 or 200 kg is no problem. He carry like this. And now he said, even that my body is almost cannot carry. What can I do? Say? And it's like if he's not happy, it's just a bomb one. So it's maybe to the knocking down. And this kind of like a thunderbolt, powerful person, but impermanent, cannot do nothing. And we need to go under this kind of the impermanent. As the rich is like, looks like Nangar, billions, trillions. In China, there's one rich guy, and he's quite old, and he says, what I need to do is, I have one single child, it's enough money in my house, one room, a bedroom, or I don't know, one room is completely full. He put the money. And then it's, where can I put this one? And then it's like police came and took, oh, nice. Afterwards, it's the room is empty. And what you need to do, it is like this. Sometimes the rich people like think about the permanent, and it's all the time. It's even the like kind of difficult to eat themselves, food, clothes, and it's sometimes like when we look at the most rich, they concern the permanent. They are looks like very, very, very poor, and also they need something. It's some more things they are stolen to the other things. And in this perspective, they certainly impermanent arrive. What we need to do these things, money, rich things. Even you are rich, same as the Nagad, but useless, you know. And in the it's like impermanent arrive, your longings is someone's taken away. In the Pardo institutions, you can to look the when we after the impermanent. Okay, I'm saying using the diet, separated the body and consciousness. 24 and a half days, we have these appearances. You can to see the family, you can to see your belongings. And then it's like someone's your family, children, and someone coming in your house, they taking away your belonging things and sharing. And of course, sometimes in Europe, we remember, sometimes parents died after the children, they are fighting, you know. This is mine, this is yours, this money is it. Even ugly things, children's concerning, when their parents save money things, when they go to holiday, they can, yes, now parents, they want to spend their money, they don't want to give to ours. It's very like painful. It is like until they save, they give to children as much, then they need to. But it's afterwards, they're coming, it's like, you know, this is you, this is mine. There's sometimes big war. And then it's like your consciousness to look at these situations become very, very sad, very much angry. You go to their talk, they can't hear. You can to say something, say this is mine. You can't, they can't hear, they take it away, and very much suffering. Then after the 25 and a half day, we are fed away the disappearances. Then kind of to slowly, it's like coming shine next our destinations, appearances coming. But then it's like still there is negative tendencies, influence is there, and that this is we need to carry into the next one. And in this perspective, it's like what? You are rich, but it's need to impermanent to like kind of to do something. It is the very important. Good looking, it's like what it is. Maybe it is like a kind of, looks like a god. And but it's like good looking. It doesn't help for the impermanent, absolutely. And also it's like, you know, beautiful, handsome, good looking. Certainly impermanent is a become ugly cope. And they need to put on the earth or birds or fish or others. And good looking is not really benefit for our impermanent. And also the pretty as the rainbow, like a flying, sexy something, but it doesn't help for the impermanent. And this is it's very important to think impermanent, benefit too. Like I might say, it's like relative truth in the human and impermanent. To study, really, to serious. This is serious conversation and serious education and serious to study yourself. And it's a help to your life in your this like this. This is not religious. This is not a kind of the Buddhist idea. This is a Buddha's telling to our the truth of our own situations. And therefore like this. Can you wake up me a little bit? I'm sleeping. Do you have any questions? Okay, yes, Matthew. They are bringing the microphones.
Oui. Rinpoche, tu dis que au moment de la mort, il faut couper l'attachement à sa famille. Quand on est parent, on a l'habitude de protéger ses enfants. Et du coup, en fait, est-ce qu'il est possible de partir de continuer à protéger ses enfants après la mort?
Rinpoche, you are saying that when you are leaving, you have to cut all ties to your family. You have to cut attachment to the family. But we have a very strong habit of protecting our children. Is it possible to still protect our children once we are gone?
Absolutely. Without disattachment. Compassionately. Yes? That I never says you don't protect to your children.
After death, can you still protect your children?
How? How? You need to be enlightenment. You need to do positive things. You give often to your children positive, compassion, kindness. Give good education. That is the protector. Even yourself to be enlightenment, maybe you can give your compassion energy, protectors. But you give negative, hatred, emotional, jealousy, self, and like this kind of, how we can treat protectors? Even then at the moment we cannot protect ourselves. When we die, what happened in the next step? We don't know ourselves. Children's to protect means is to taking care. When you be together, thinking about impermanent. I want to offer to them my kindness. I want to be more compassionate to them. Which kind of they be happy? Good food, good clothes, good education, not negative things. And more positive things too. Bring to the positive path, to showing, to saying, darling, to study very well. Don't kill, don't steal, don't do sexual misconduct. To be the great person, compassionate, that is a protector. The only kind of, this is my child, I need to give it, you go to study. Not very much to showing, for example, good parents. They never fighting, they never argue in front of the child. And if like some couples, if you fighting when the child argue fighting, then the children to see them, even they damage their mind. Even good parents says, thinking about impermanent, fully dedicated to each other. To say it's like, it's like, darling, not fighting, not argue. Children, we need to give education. It is a compassion. And then it's like, sometimes it's like married. Married all the time is ugly, okay? But a few years after, they hated each other. Kind of doesn't want to eat each other. And then, you all the time is to show but good person, how you protect your children. No, I don't want to eat. It's this girl, this woman is my wife. It is the mother of my child. I need to take care. What do you want, darling, to offer? This lady is thinking, this man is the father of my children. I need to support. I choose this. We need to make harmony to show that all the time is a compassion, kindness. Then his children's very happy. Mommy, daddy, mommy, daddy. And then the mental development is fantastic. And this is protections. This is protectors. And you think of the impermanent. And once I was extremely happy to my brothers, young brother. Sometimes his children to run inside, break everything. And I said this, you don't want to control to them? And they are really, it's like kind of, it's animals, they are dancing. And then he says, what can I do? Today I'm really to control to them, to beat. Tomorrow I'm die. Then what I need to do? Maybe they become good, maybe they can become, he completely give free. And sometimes he put the sleep back in his head and he's sleeping. And all the children, 6 children, jumping under his body everywhere, but he's practiced. Then I thought, wow, that is the wonderful. It is really, this is truth, to be the kind. And then you need to some good education. But now children grow up not bad. They are okay. And like this, and to showing each other, this is best protector. Particularly when you think about realize the impermanent, it's a very, very, very benefit. Absolutely benefit. And sometimes it's like our Westerns misunderstanding, like a kind of to say, oh, I need to follow the Buddhas, then I need to give up, my children, my wife, and like families, then I need to go to solitude place. Absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. And you can to be in the families. And once I met one person, he says, I'm a great practitioner. I say, okay, good. I'm homeless. Okay, where are you living? I'm living sometime in the Midi Station, Gak, North. Wonderful, yeah, okay. And are you a single? No. What? Are you married? I have kind of wives. And then do you have children? Yes, I have 3.5 children. Yeah. And then what do you mean 3.5? 3 is already outside, 1 is inside, that means 3.5. Then where they are, who can to take care of them? They can take care of themselves. It's like this. I need to practice Dharma. And then he asked me, could you give me something important, pity instruction, something? And then I said, I'm horrible. Okay, sorry to say. My perspective, you are the worst person in this world. And you put your wife and children, you put in the palace. And then you can't run. No problem. The children's wife don't need you. And you are imitating Buddhas. Buddhas, his wife and son was in the palace. Reality really is like a love's perspective. Don't need it. Then you say you created a wife, you created 3.5 children. Then you are like, you say, does it matter them? This is really, really very, very bizarre for me. It's not if you go to in Tibet, many like great some master, they married. They have a wife, they have a husband, they have children, but they are very simple life, very simple life, but they're taking care of each other. They never, ever give up each other. And they are very much simple life, wonderful. Everybody practice Dharma. Everybody is like love each other. They never need. Like this, we don't need to give up something. When we practice the Dharma, thinking about the impermanent, how you can to protect your families through the compassion, give education. You need to more think about impermanent, more take care to them. That's my answer. Other questions? Luisa?
Rinpoche, from the point of view of the Dharma, when we die, is it better to offer our body for the science or to...
Body offered to science?
To science, for scientific purposes, because it could help others?
Okay.
Or is it better to be burned or to be buried?
Not necessary. You need to check. It is maybe it's like kind of how do you say so? And I think it's better to. This system is not very good. If someone's like accidented, this person's 100% going to die. Okay. Maybe also in this situation to take organs after the died. Then before this person to die to take organs, awful. No very good. It works or not works there. And then now it's like in your life, you need to give organs to others, after what you're going to do? If yourself to damage?
No, I mean after death. I mean after
After
death.
the
but
died, then you can to give, why not? That is no problem. 100% is, I would to say yes, if you are not like kind of such sickness, and okay, this person's separated body consciousness, and then you can to give. This is a wonderful, why not? Sometimes I heard, it is sometimes they say you need different organs before you die. And this is ugly, okay? Sometimes I heard this in the medicines in the hospital. Awful, that is not good. If you died, then it's just your body is material. And then it's someone's used, why not? Fantastic.
but there's some period we should not touch the body, and
Some periods?
I think there is a period of now I don't remember exactly. There is a period where the body should stay not touched, but in the Western we don't do that. We immediately want to bury the person or make.
Yes, this is everybody's. When someone died, and in our Westerns ones is the history, and their families died, and they immediately put in a coffin, and they put on the ground. But it's like some is like hours, 10 hours or 20 hours. I wake up this person and try to get out, and they like possible one person's come back. And like this, sometimes each like this kind of situations to check, and really is like completely. I mean, this in the days in the hospitals, they have such machines. They really like kind of the person is fully impermanent or not impermanent. They can to check, and in this perspectives, even in Tibet, any kind of they keep it sometimes at least 24 hours.
Then I have another question about, for instance, when there's like a car accident or other kind of sudden death, the person is a practitioner, but not accomplished practitioner, maybe not realized the nature of mind. So, and then maybe. Like I'm thinking about my own experience with this car, and sometimes not even time to think about POA. And even if we think, then maybe like when we learned in POA, how to maintain this awareness. I mean, the awareness that we are dying, and then there is this very quick dissolution of the the body, of the elements and the consciousness. This the red essence and white essence. This is it's probably seconds this happens. And how, I mean, if one is not accomplished, how to maintain awareness of this process?
One human car accident.
I mean, this car accident is very sudden.
Yes.
And or plane crash or whatever. Then how to maintain awareness? How can we, is it possible to maintain these instructions?
Then we need to make the familiarity right now. Familiarity to make the, how do you say, to put habitual tendencies very strongly. And then it's easy. Like, for example, when you are driving, okay? And first time your driver is very slowly to move the gears. And you more cultivate, more learn. And then any situations very fast, quickly. Exactly like this. When you learn more and more to make the familiarity or make the more experience, makes experience, then easily to maintain the awareness. Very easily to remember. 1 picosecond, everything you can remember. For example, if you put a very strong, or some is your lover, or when you like have a kind of something dear or someone, and you put these pictures again, and there's certainly something you need to, 1 picosecond you can to remember everything, yes? Exactly like this. We need to learn too early to, meditation means this one. The path of the meditation, part of the cultivation, the path of the development means this you develop again and again and again strong. Then any kind of situations you can to remember, okay?
Maybe the mind gets qualities that...
Mind what?
The mind with the meditation gets qualities that can help...
Qualities, what do you mean?
Okay.
What do you mean?
By this habituation, the mind kind of changes. Then
the habituation means to make a habit again. Mm-hmm. For example, when we are writing things, you just A, B, C, D. Once you read, next time you see, it's impossible to remember. You can't to read. Need to slowly. You read again and again, and then it's reading very fast and very quick to remember, yes? Mm-hmm. Exactly the same meditations. You need to make familiarity. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions?
Rinpoche, vous avez parlé des panditas, donc là, il me semble que j'ai compris que ce sont de grands érudits. Par contre, ce que je n'ai pas bien saisi, ou peut-être lié à un manque d'écoute, c'est vous aviez parlé des Kosali aussi. Et là, voilà, si vous pouvez me réexpliquer, s'il vous plaît.
Rinpoche, you talked about Pandita, the very learned ones.
Talking about?
You talked about Pandita,
okay,
the two ways to learn Dharma. Mm-hmm. The way of the Panditas, which are very learned, and then the second part about the Kosali, maybe I was not very attentive, or I didn't really understand what you mean.
Kosali.
I think this is what I heard.
Kosali meaning, yes?
Kosali, yes.
Kosali.
Kosali.
You can to look at the Kosali path is the third part we call the Kosali. Mm-hmm. Kosali or Kosali.
So she asked if you can explain this second way
very
one more
simple,
time.
Very easy, and you don't need much something details. And also this is very important. Really, you have devotion, you trust, you really to understand. Also, when you follow the teachers, and really is qualified teachers, whatever they say easily to put into our mind. And then you don't need too much go details. Maybe it's the crucial point you can to meditate. Then why you need to learn these many complicated things? And there's very important things we can do say is just to focus on the pith instructions. That is enough. But this is very difficult. Why? Because in our mind is very, very much involved, like kind of the business and the politic things. It's like each moment, I don't know, maybe yes, maybe no. And say so, it's like this. And then it's like a little bit to more follow the Pantita. It's a more learned way. And then it's logical. And each moment logical is coming. Then it's also ourselves is to clarify our own mind. If you really to like kind of the understood this basic 4 reminders, and understood the like liberation, and then understood how I can to follow the spiritual path, spiritual friends. When you follow the spiritual friends and really you accept it, and then it's like really to have the good relationship, and then it's like pith instruction direct go into your heart, then this is not really much needed, many detail. Okay, simple. Maybe simple these things to bring quickly enlightenment. Sometimes in Tibet is a normal lay person and monks, nuns. Sometimes they who is fast become the enlightenment. Sometimes lay persons more fast. Why? Because lay persons, there's no kind of I will become the lama or teacher or something famous. There's nothing expectations. Lay persons, I need to take care of my family. Beside that, I need honestly to practice patience, but the Dharma. Then they really to practice the what a teacher's ordered to them practice. There's no kind of hope or the fear or something. Only focus on that. Then sometimes many, for example, look at the Jigme Limbas, Dingun Chensi Rinpoches, Dunjam Rinpoches. We can to see that all of them are the maybe it's a little lay person. But those are like more profound, more is like them. Sometimes it's like we can to say is monks, nuns, as you really kind of wearing the specials. Then it's a little bit expectations. Maybe I will become the teacher. If I become the Dharma teacher, and which kind of throne, how I can to teach, how I can to clarify my understanding, debate, and to many there is, and like this. Then of course this is very important to clarify your understanding of Dharma, but it's like a simple way. It's like really necessary for in our life, but in particularly under our Western perspective, our Western is like very much have basic education, and basic education is a lot of give proud, arrogant, and then it's like we think I'm intelligent. I know it's like I don't want to say so and then it's like maybe if you want to do more to study, it is a truth or not truth, and it's like this. Then it's maybe sometimes it's just wonderful things. For example, many is in Tibet people has jealous. Many Tibetan lamas going to in the West, they teaching very profound, very much direct. If you go to in Tibet, ordinary people, they never perceived deep teachings. And then they are jealous. Why you do like that? Then there's even the, Sasha, the holiness of the Sasha Tantra says, Western student, they are really enthusiastic. They have basic education. If I'm talking about philosophies, anything, they're very easily to understand. And then I'm teaching there. In Tibet, you don't study very well. Then even I'm saying it's like compassion, emptiness, or something, wisdom, awareness. Maybe like you can do say is that creation stage, dissolution stage, this kind of you talking, they don't understand. Then he says, what I can do. You have basic education, I can to teach. He said, exactly this is in our Western teachings are profound, but also we have basic, is a very much arrogant, proud in our minds because the basic educations. In this case, maybe better to learn, to study. And also we have this influence, the religious influence, and like kind of lot of problem in the background. And then it's like it's like common word to say the sect, and also it's like also doing funny things, and someone's using the spiritual materialism. This is one Tibet Lama, it's Trungpa Rinpoche. He using the spiritual materialism. Someone's really using the religious and to get to looking for the title, position, belongings. And like this, even though sometimes like there, it's like kind of the relationships. I have power, strength, and Kundalini use the energies like this. Awful things they're using like this. And then it's like we have this common, the bad reputations as give a lot of doubt. And in this perspective, it's very difficult, but maybe ourselves to learn, to study. Then it's what is truth, what is the wrong, is the very important. Of course, the way, the best is the kusuli, okay? It's a way, it's very simple, and it's just maybe one crucial point to pick up. And then many in Tibet, is most be enlightenment, it's the way of the kusilas. Pantita's way is, of course, you become very learned, you almost understand everything, but mind is a lot of problems. It's like all the time full of the doubt and full of the arrogant, full of the like kind of, I know. Realize you don't know nothing. Okay, and others? And therefore, we can do also a little bit to allow. Okay.
En français. Simplement, concrètement, ça signifie quoi pour vous étudier l'impermanence? Est-ce qu'il faut lire des livres? Est-ce qu'il faut méditer plutôt? Qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire concrètement pour approfondir cette notion?
When you speak about study impermanence, how exactly should we do that? Should we read some specific books, or should we meditate? What exactly do you mean
when you're
by
sleepy?
when you are saying to study impermanence? Study impermanence. How do we do? Do we read some books, or do we practice meditation? How do we study impermanence?
Then now we are analyzing. And now at the moment we are reading books and we are searching, it's a really impermanent, it is a truth or not truth. And also it's like what you mean is the meditating on the impermanence. This is just kind of concerning the impermanent, that is the meditation. And you study more and more about the impermanent, read the book, histories. You cannot say, that is the history. It was funny. Not like this. When you're reading the history, to reading the books, is the telling to that is the impermanent. This is, and exactly the same as this book, kind of telling to is like in the relatively, everything is impermanent. Once you understood the impermanent, then it's maybe not necessary meditate on it. Maybe to do the other positive things. Develop compassion. And this is very important. Develop the positive things. And now I want to try to save some beings. Never ever, like kind of take vows. I never to do the hurting, killing to the others. I understood that other sentient beings same as me. And also it's like stolen things we can to stop. And also it's like virtues. And also it's exactly the like in our minds there's many different positive things to do. Then that is the kind of the understanding or that is the effect of the realization of the impermanent. And therefore, once it's like we realize that, okay, everything is impermanent, then we don't need to meditate on it. And we need to do something benefit for the impermanence. For example, Buddha, his first time he taught about the sufferings. And you need to meditate on suffering. Why you need to conversation about the sufferings? And yes, it's Buddha said the truth of the suffering. And we need to talk about suffering. After you understand the sufferings, why you need to meditate on it? Now you need to think about the source of the origination, the truth of the origination. Where is the come from the sufferings? Then you need to do benefit to how you can to eradicate, how you can to purify this origination. Or the truth of origination. If you recognize the sufferings, then that's all. And then you need to think about the source of these sufferings. Like same as we can to say, when we are sick, okay, you recognize the sickness. Yes, I'm in pain, I have problems. And then I understood my sickness. Daughters to understand the sickness. But then as a daughter and yourself, then you to look the source. Where is your sickness? Then you need to take the medicine for the source of the sickness, not for the moment of this sickness. You need to destroy the source of the sickness. Just to pain is itself, maybe is how you can to destroy it like this. When we understood the impermanent, and then what is we need to do the benefit for the impermanent. That is we need to study. Okay, love? Okay, V.
Is it the understanding of impermanence the first step to understand emptiness? Is it linked?
No, emptiness is kind of philosopher. Forget it. There's no connections. Emptiness, there's no impermanent. Then what is connected?
But as we understand that everything is impermanence.
Because of the emptiness.
No. Then if I meditate on my cup and I talk it's impermanent, then suddenly I will understand maybe that it's
emptiness.
Yeah. No.
But if you think it's like a cup is impermanent, okay?
Yeah.
And then this cup is impermanent, but what is problem for you?
I don't see problems.
Huh?
I don't see any problems.
There's no problem, yes?
Yes.
Cup is permanent, impermanent. It's cup, it's not you.
Yeah.
But then need to yourself. Are you impermanent?
Yes.
Okay. When impermanent arrive, are you afraid or not?
Probably.
Probably. Then you are quite good. Am I afraid? And if you're afraid, what do you need to do now?
To be. Yeah.
Huh?
To be ready.
To do something, yes?
Yes.
To do. Maybe this, you understood the impermanent of the cup, okay?
Yeah.
But did you say a cup is impermanent? That is, yeah, okay, this is impermanent. Then what? But this is example. Maybe cup is there, maybe cup's not there. These things is not cup's not that. But doesn't matter, this showing is impermanent. Then the example is a turn inward ourselves. Am I is the same situation, this cup? Cup is become more and more old. Mm-hmm. But there's no mind. It's inanimate things. It's all break that now. They never cry. But am I also same as the changing process is the cup? My body, my verb, my mind is changing. And also cup is impermanent one day. And same myself is one day I'm impermanent. That moment, cup is never cries. But my mind is a cry. My mind is problems. And this perspective, now I need to learn, study something. Then it's inward to check the mind. That's the best. How it is the mind. Look at mind itself. It is really, it's like something substantially. It's really die, or really is born. And to search into, there's many books transcribed with your mind, yes? Oh, that's need to study. This yesterday we talking about cosmologies and what happened in Tibet, in Europe. This is kind of the example, for instance. And give to us is like showing that these things are the impermanent. After we understood, and then they turn inward our own self. That's very, very important, okay? Then it's like before everything's impermanent, do you need to know about the emptiness? One, I would say yes. Why? Because it's like emptiness is not nothingness, okay? In the Buddhist philosophical language, you say as emptiness, nothingness. But in the Buddha's philosophical term means it's emptiness, not nothingness. This cup is empty. Yes, it's empty, but it's not nothingness. If nothing, cups cannot to be there. Everything is emptiness. Why we be here? Why we need to talk? Why we need to eat? We need eat, we need drink, we need talk to move. And these things, and then it's like form is empty, empty is form. When you say the emptiness, there's like kind of form. Cup is empty, empty is cup. Then why you say that it's good things? Maybe this cup is itself is empty. Maybe it's in the relative confusion. Like I really never studied the philosophies. The cup thing is like substantially existence. Cup is a really, there is, because I can't touch here. This is my cup. Really to be serious, sincerely, if someone don't like it, but I'm saying sincerely, honestly, to really to be that, to look at this one. You know? Yesterday we say, oh yeah, this cup is each moment is changing. Where is change? Change it into it's the nature empty itself, budding itself, going itself. And there's a changing cup, old cups. I can't say nothing there is. No trader. It's a cup is changing. If not change, never become the old. Never ever. But cup is changing. But I can't say left over. You know, it's how it's going away. It's running somewhere is. And use the 100% one day is really exhausted and broken and disappeared. Exactly each, it's a long time it's go disappeared, or each picosecond, nanosecond is changing, exhausting. But then it's where it is going. It's a nature cup itself. Body also itself, and destination also itself. To concern that, then sometimes it's, you know, untalkable things is coming into your mind. Good. You need to more deeply. Once with scientific, one guy, he's very proud and he wants to talk. We talk like this, and then suddenly he can't talk. Then house, you need to analyze it. And can you tell me more further? I said, no. You study into yourself to really to analyze, then I can go to with you. It's like this. If you don't to analyze, and this, maybe you say like this, maybe not, then it's never is you understand. Therefore, to honestly, it's like, what is meaning is, maybe if you understand that, what you say, the emptiness or this nature, and then it's like go back to your mind, impermanent, birth, old age, sickness, death. Someone's like kind of to be free from that. How? That perspective. There is. Cup also is the nature, is the empty, or like the untalkable, this nature. Not nothingness, but not that substantial existence. Mind is also like this, in the relatively like concrete things. It's like kind of relative. Looks like, same, everything's exists. Then it's birth, death, I'm born, I'm old age, I'm sick, I'm dying. But then it's like, okay, it's my born, I'm born, where am I born? Where is the come from? Need to look. Difficult. Then it's old, what is old age? And sickness also. Some is like meditators, they sick, they essence to look, sometimes they're liberated. Sickness doesn't function that there is anymore. And also same as the death or the impermanent, sometimes nature. Then in this perspective, we can to make freedom. Therefore, in this point, then there is a intrinsic awareness, reality, basic nature. You can to say it's empty. Realize that it's a fantastic. Really? Yes. Other? Okay, maybe we can to to meditate on like kind of the exalted, maybe meditate on the heaven, maybe meditate on the powerful, rich, good-looking, pretty, so on. And to meditate on it, it is a permanent or impermanent. And maybe it's whatever we see forms, we can to check, meditate, it is a permanent or impermanent. Whatever we can to hear sounds, maybe it is a permanent or impermanent. And then it's slowly to meditate like this. Finally, maybe we can to check our minds. It is permanent or impermanent. Maybe through that body also verb and to analyze permanent or impermanent. And it's also on the body, feeling, sensation, and also mind, whatever phenomena. Everything is like permanent or impermanent. And this kind of analytical meditation, okay? Analytical meditations. And maybe we can 5 minutes. Okay,